This week's film is from Donald Trump's America, a man elected on the promise to make America great again. But a major obstacle stopping that is the huge illiteracy crisis that means nearly 1 in 5 adults can't read. This Unreported World episode first aired in March 2017. Kiki King went to Detroit, where 93% of the city's teens are behind with their reading.
I'm in Detroit, a city where 2/3 of high school students struggle with basic reading. Raynard Robinson's 13, but he has the reading age of a 9-year-old. He's got just 3 weeks to improve his reading before an exam that could change his life.
If I don't learn how to read, where will I be at? Will I have a job? Will I have a home?
In the nearby city of Kalamazoo, Jerry Melson used to work in the car industry before the factories closed. Aged 56 and a recovering alcoholic, he's begun reading lessons after his life hit rock bottom.
Because I always thought that I never could learn. Why do it? Because I'm never, I'm no good at it.
He's on a mission to master these skills so he can read a story with his granddaughter. I want to find out why so many in the world's biggest economy are struggling to read. It's 3 p.m. in Detroit. I'm in a van picking up kids to take them to a fight club. We have 3 more kids to pick up, and then we're going to go to the boxing gym.
Yeah, bumped it.
Detroit has some of the highest rates of violent crime in the country, but these children aren't here to learn how to defend themselves.
So, Samantha, what do you like about the boxing gym?
That they have reading programs.
Yeah?
127 kids come here for what they say is the best lesson of the day. An after-school club where reading is combined with a workout in the ring. The gym was founded by boxing coach Carly Sweeney. Coach Carly uses boxing to get kids through the door.
This is not just any gym, right?
Our motto is books before boxing.
Books?
Books before boxing.
Books before boxing.
So this is our classroom.
Why did you start this gym? Why was it important to do this bit with the academics?
I felt it was a need because myself personally, I went through school from the 3rd grade on out. I knew I couldn't read. I couldn't read or write, period. They passed me on. Before you know it, I was in high school. I'm almost ready to graduate.
How does that happen?
The same way it happens today. We have kids who are graduating as honor students, but if you test them, which we do here, we hire an outside company to come in and test our kids. And when they come back with their reading scores and they're reading at a 3rd grade, 4th grade level, and they're about to go to college, there's something wrong.
Carly knows firsthand the challenges these kids face growing up in Detroit's toughest neighborhoods.
I've been shot. I've been in the gang. I've seen some of the most horrible things can happen to human beings happen. All of my friends are either dead or in jail. If you have an education, you have hope. As long as you have hope, then you'll go out there and you'll try and you'll have something to live for. Because when I didn't have hope, myself personally, when I was told every day that I was going to be dead or in jail before I'm 21, I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose.
There are 800 kids on the waiting list. Every child has to do at least 20 minutes of reading before they can get into the ring. 13-year-old Raynard's been coming here for 18 months. In 3 weeks, he's got a big exam, and his tutor's helping him with his reading.
What is the rule that's important?
Kite.
Nope, no silent E.
Like so many children in this country, he's struggling at school. 93% of kids his age in Detroit are way behind in their reading.
Kate.
And the individual sounds help you sound it out.
Kit.
Right.
After 20 minutes in class, it's Raynard's chance to hit the gym. Reynard's biological dad died recently of a chronic illness. He struggles with anger issues, getting into fights at school.
If I want to, I can come out here and train, let all my anger out on the bag.
So have you done your homework today?
Yes, I started on my science project. They helped me out. And I had did my reading section. They helped me understand the words more.
Coach Carly's proud to tell us every single student who's attended his gym has gone on to graduate from high school when they're 18. But it seems extraordinary to me that it's down to volunteers in a gym to teach kids to read.
It's time to clean up, guys. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Y'all clean up, man. Let's go. Let's go. Clean up. Clean up.
Detroit has some of the highest levels of illiteracy in America, affecting generations, and it's not an isolated problem. 3 hours drive away is the city of Kalamazoo. I've come to meet Jerry Melson. At 56, he's a changed man.
He's in this classroom here having a lesson right now.
It's gonna be lesson 14.
Okay.
Page 78. Okay.
All right. Shaggy?
Yep, good.
Among nostrils?
Good, yes.
Ill?
It will.
Ill.
It'll.
Okay.
He's been in prison twice for drink driving. A court's ordered him to come to these literacy classes.
Negatar. What? Nectar.
Yeah, you got her.
Nectar?
Yeah, nectar.
Oh, nectar.
Nectar.
All right.
Jerry says he's always felt inadequate. Learning to read is changing his life.
The word book is still a little bit
Yeah.
sketchy to me. When people say I love to read, I look back at myself and say, I dreaded to read, you know?
Rob's learning to read too. A former truck driver, he hid his illiteracy by learning the shapes of street signs by heart.
I still have a fear of books. It's just like jumping off the high dive or the board. You know how you're scared to do it?
Rob and Jerry's teacher are encouraging Jerry to read a book to his granddaughter.
If you read to your granddaughter something that interests you.
I encourage you. Oh my gosh, pick up that book.
But it's a big step for Jerry, who doesn't want to be humiliated in front of his granddaughter.
I encourage you to do it as much as possible.
Jerry doesn't have a job, so the next morning I join him at his daughter's house, where he helps out as much as possible by looking after 6-year-old granddaughter Lele.
Long way round. All right, ready for school. Start the week.
You love school? Okay. You just like the holidays?
Yeah.
Jerry says he passed each school year because he was good at sports, but at 16 he dropped out.
Walk across the street, both ways. Here's the bus now. Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
When Jerry left school, he quickly got a job in a car factory where there were plenty of low-skilled jobs.
Hi, Lele.
Both Jerry's parents worked at General Motors.
I knew I was getting a job there. Kind of lied my way through it, and never could read nothing.
Did your daughters ever try and come to you for help with homework or with reading? Or, and how would you react to that?
Before they understood, I'd say, talk to your mom. Then I couldn't do the schoolwork. But her mother pretty much handled all that.
Do you feel you missed out?
Yeah, I didn't miss out.
Would you like to read a bedtime story to Lele?
It'd be nice.
Being here has really made me realize I take my own literacy for granted, but also that it's a lot more than just being able to read and write. It's about being able to participate in everyday life.
A big factor in America's illiteracy crisis is failing schools, and the state of Michigan has some of the worst performing schools in the country. Donald Trump's new education secretary, Betsy DeVos, is a multi-billionaire former head of the Michigan Republican Party.
CBS with an update. Betsy DeVos of Michigan is confirmed to serve as education secretary, but not without a bit of added drama at the vote.
There's no doubt that Betsy DeVos is going to be a controversial choice as Secretary of State for Education. She completely divides the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans say that she's going to be a fresh new voice in her role and that she's all about giving parents choice.
Betsy DeVos believes in replacing state schools with privately run charter schools. Critics say these schools make things worse by cherry-picking better students and leaving vulnerable kids behind. Back in Detroit, I catch up with Reynard to see how his reading is coming along. But first, he wants to show me something.
Is there a light? So tell me about your business.
Well, we usually cut lawn, rake leaves, whatever you need.
Oh, and there's your lawnmower. You bought it?
Yes, $200.
With your own profit from your business? How many employees did you have?
I had 3.
3 employees. That's amazing.
He may be struggling at school, but he's got a knack for business.
I could be an entrepreneur, work my way up, then have a bunch of companies.
Sounds good.
Reynard's starting high school in September. Nearly a quarter of Detroit's schools are classed as failing. He's applying to one with a better reputation, but he has to pass a test first.
Reynard has some homework he's going to do, and so his mum is going to help him out. Reynard, do you think you're ready to take this test to get into this high school you want to go to?
No. Yes.
No, yes?
I'm a little nervous.
If he makes the grade, it could be a life-changing opportunity.
My grandpa always told me, like, if I keep trying, I'll do it. I'll succeed. So I just got to keep trying now.
At primary school, Reynard developed a fear of reading.
Every time I looked at a word, it just looked like a bunch of blurry words just bunched together. And then I just throw like a bunch of sounds in there. And then I used to hate when somebody correct me.
Why? Why do you think you hated that?
Because, like, it made me feel bad, like.
Why is it so important for you to improve your reading?
Well, I see a lot of people out on the street now, and I wonder, like, is it because they couldn't do, like, a simple reading task? And, like, wonder, like, if I don't learn how to read, like, where will I be at? Like, will I have a job? Will I have a home? Where will I be at?
Reynard's mum, Nona, fears she won't always be around to help out.
He knows that I have heart problems, and I can't always be right there with him. Every day is not promised, and I just want to make him stronger. That's all. He don't need mama's hand to finish that work.
She's moved Reynard to 2 different schools, but he still hasn't learnt to read properly.
What would you say is one of the main reasons why schools are failing kids?
Teachers. Getting a teacher to stay at the school. Having a full semester with one teacher. Constantly switching teachers is not good for the kids.
I love you.
I love you more.
This is true love.
Detroit schools struggle to recruit qualified teachers, and to fill the gaps, use temporary or unqualified staff. The local school authority denied us access to a number of failing schools. But they invited us into Benjamin Carson High School in central Detroit. It's one of the better schools.
We've been told we can listen in on this 10th grade English class. That means they're going to be about 15, 16 years old.
Shannon Waite's been teaching here for 2 years.
When the author sat down to write this book, is he trying to educate people, inform people? Is he trying to persuade people, get them to get up and do something?
Schools in America get more money per pupil than in most Western countries, but with worse results.
When we read anything, there's things that we can learn, right? That's the beauty of reading.
I'm on my way to a meeting with all the English teachers in this school, so hopefully I'm going to be able to ask them some questions. Who is at fault for the fact that children are going through school and not learning to read and write?
There's tons of research out there about students in poverty, kids in poverty. Like how many books are in the house, how many words they hear every day, and they compare that to like middle class and affluent families, and the differences are staggering.
That's where you guys are supposed to step in. That's why teachers are supposed to balance that out.
And I mean, we try, but if these students have parents who work midnights or work 2 jobs and don't have that support at home, or if they go home to like conflict or other issues.
I feel like in that situation, it's impossible to say like, that's just the teacher's job.
But isn't that's a systemic failure then? It's a, I mean, I can't see it as you
There's
say.
There's a lot of elements. I would not, I don't think any teacher would say it's one thing that causes it.
We've heard a group of students are protesting outside a nearby failing school.
Some of the students here are involved in a lawsuit against the governor of the state. They say that not only do they have a constitutional right to an education, but that education actually has to teach them to read and write.
Andrea Jackson, a careers advisor at the school, is supporting the lawsuit.
Andrea? Hi, I'm Kiki. Hi.
She claims the state of Michigan has mismanaged Detroit's schools and their budgets, which is why some of them are failing.
The teachers need books in the classrooms. We need resources. The state of Michigan never invested in literacy programs, so the students want to learn and they can learn. We just want the school to be better.
The state denies these claims.
If you love Detroit kids, let me hear a shout out.
Andrea invites me back to her house to meet her son, who's at the school, and one of the lawyers on this landmark right to read case.
So I was hoping to catch you guys up on where we are with the case.
She explains the state of Michigan has just responded to the claim they're failing to teach kids to read.
This is one thing the state said. While pointing the finger at defendants, the state, plaintiffs ignore many other factors that contribute to illiteracy, such as poverty, intellectual limitations, domestic violence, trauma, and other numerous influences.
I am shocked that they will put this in writing.
None of these things have to do with whether or not you should have the opportunity to learn to read.
Why is it so important for you, Andrea, to be part of this case?
Literacy is a direct correlation to the prison population. Being educated is everything.
In a few weeks' time, they'll find out whether the case will be heard in court. If they're successful, it will enshrine into law across America that school authorities have a duty to ensure kids can read. Reynard's invited me back to the boxing gym. He's been studying for several hours every evening. His exam is just 2 weeks away, and he wants to show me how far he's come.
Do you want to read it to me? Sure thing.
Thank you.
Current and future goals. Learning is way of life, especially in school, because without an education, you will go nowhere in life. I used that twice. In conclusion, I want to go to Martin Luther King Jr. High School because I will then be one step closer to my dream, becoming an electronic engineer.
How do you feel your reading has improved by coming to the gym?
Well, now in school, I feel more confidence of speaking out loud, asking my teacher, could I read? Like, usually I just sit back and let everybody else go, but now I really want to be involved with the reading.
Reynard's reading may still be behind, but he's improving fast.
Every single conversation I had with Reynard, I just kept thinking how lucky he was that he managed not to slip through the net, because if it hadn't been for the boxing gym and all the extra tutorials he's been getting, I don't know if he'd be the sunny, confident boy he is today.
I want to catch up with Jerry one last time. Michael Evans is the director of the Literacy Centre.
So nice to see so many people who are all gathered together for the same reason. We all want to learn. Isn't it great when you learn? Yay!
It's a big day for Jerry. He's being awarded for his dedication to learning to read.
There's people who show up, and then there's people who really show up. I mean, show up there, rain or shine, snow, and says, I'm going to get my learning no matter what. And this gentleman, his name is Jerry Melson, and your certificate is for outstanding attendance. And what I mean by outstanding is shining far above anybody else. He shows up all the time with a good attitude, positive attitude. Jerry, thank you very much for being here.
Thank everybody for participating to help me.
Michael wants to end the stigma around adult illiteracy.
So there's the expectation that literacy is available to everyone, but it actually really isn't. What we are trying to do is to raise awareness that it's okay to continue your learning because all of us are lifelong learners anyway.
But Jerry's still unsure about reading a book with his granddaughter. He's twice invited us round to film him doing it, but then he's cancelled. We're trying again today.
I am nervous for Jerry because I really don't know if he's going to be able to go through with reading his granddaughter a bedtime story. He doesn't remember ever reading a book to his daughters either. So this would be an entirely new thing for Jerry. I really hope he can do it.
Will you invite us in? Should we go in? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Is your mommy back?
I want you to read it.
Jerry's been working up to this for months.
You're reading. You're reading.
I'm reading. Why don't you read?
You can.
Do princesses eat the bread?
Crust of their bread.
Your turn.
When princesses laugh, do they sometimes snort?
No, 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 boo.
Okay.
What about that one, Jerry? Your turn.
Do princesses cry and make a fuss?
No, they never give up.
They never give up, but...
Mommy, do princesses seem at all like me?
And see. Look. Oh, what does it say?
A princess is a place in your heart.
Whoa, victory! Yay. My mom can read this tonight, and maybe I can read it every day.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, give me a hug.
Oh, your coat's soft.
I'd spent so much time worrying about Jerry. I'd forgotten that, of course, the minute you sit down with a child and a book, you have a wonderful time. Lele is an amazing little girl with an extraordinary imagination, and we just had so much fun.
Jerry's made a breakthrough, confronting his fears and discovering the joy of reading with a child, something he missed out on with his daughters. The Detroit schoolchildren bringing the lawsuit against the state of Michigan have yet to hear whether their case will be heard in court. Reynard didn't do as well as he hoped in his high school entrance exam. He's still waiting to hear if he'll be accepted.